Hey guys, good morning. Happy Friday. Black Rhino here with Black Rhino Golf Talk. So today I'm going to talk about bogey golf, right? So a lot of us, we want to shoot better scores, and sometimes we just don't know how to go about doing that. You know, we feel our swings are out of whack, or we feel that our swings are good, but while we're on the golf course, we just can't seem to put a good round together. So in most cases, what you want to do is have a strategy when you go out and you play golf, right? So you have a strategy on a par 4, you have a strategy on a par 5, and you have a strategy on a par 3, right? And in some cases, depending on your tee shot, you're going to automatically be shooting for a bogey, right? But that's okay, because you want to mitigate mistakes on the golf course. You want to think properly when you're on the golf course, so that way you won't risk shooting a high number like a 7 or an 8, right? Have a mindset, I'm not going to go any higher than a bogey. So on a par 5, you're going to be getting a 6. On a par 4, you're going to be getting a 5. On a par 3, you're going to be getting a 4. In most cases, if you bogey every single hole, you have a chance to break 90. Now, granted, you won't bogey every single hole. I mean, you may, but, you know, you'll get some pars in there as well, too, which will help drop your score, right? So when you drop your score, you're going to be having a chance to break 90, right? You're going to have a chance to shoot an 89 or an 88 or an 85. Because, again, remember, I mean, you are a good golfer. You know, you guys can play good golf. You know, you've practiced at the range, you've put the time in, you've played holes where you've even gotten a birdie, right? So keep that momentum and push forward. Don't discourage or don't get discouraged because you may have gotten a bogey. Just take your medicine, right? Crack on to the next hole and put a good swing on the golf ball. And then after that, try to go for a par. So if you know that, you know, some of your tee shots are going to be off to the left, or even off to the right, that's okay, right? Just hit a fairway finder, right? So if you don't hit your driver well, put that guy back in the bag, hit a 3-wood, or even hit an iron, right? Do what you can to get yourself in the fairway, or at least on the left or right fringe. So that way, if you're on a long par 4, and you know that you're not going to reach the green in 2, on a par 4, play for a bogey. Make that hole a par 5, right? Make a par 5 a par 6, right? Obviously, that's not the ultimate goal, but to mitigate any mistakes that you make on the golf course or on that particular hole, right? Play for bogey. Because at the end of the day, what drives up a score is getting a double bogey or getting a triple or a quad, right? Those make a round of golf very tough to deal with. Right? You don't want to even go back out and play golf. Like, oh man, you know, I shot a, 100, shot a 95. What am I doing wrong? Well, part of what you may be doing wrong is how you think, right? You try to go for the heroic shot, right? You're in the fringe behind a tree, you try to, hit a fade around a tree, or you try to hit a hook around the tree. I mean, if you're not good enough to do that, don't worry about trying to do that. Take your medicine, play for a bogey. Go on to the next hole, think about what you're doing, make a controlled swing, and then try to get a par. Because you won't necessarily bogey every single hole, but if you don't play properly, you will bogey and you will hit a double or a quad on every hole, right? So think about what you're doing, make a controlled swing, and take your medicine. If you hit a bad tee shot, that's okay, right? Play for that bogey. And then in doing so, you'll put your mind at ease and you won't try to keep up with your friends who may be, on a par train, right? They parred the last 4 holes, right? And you're just struggling to keep yourself from shooting a double bogey, right? So strategy. Have a strategy, right? So if you come up to a par 4 that's a long par 4 and you know that you can't get to that green in 2, again, like I mentioned, play for a bogey, right? Because if you try to make the heroic shot, like I was saying before, you're going to make a quad, you're going to make a double, right? You don't want to do those things. You want to keep a 7 and an 8 off of your scorecard by any means necessary. And also 6s on a par 4, right? We don't want those. The most you want on a par 4 is a bogey. the most you want on a par 5 is a bogey. The most you want on a par 3 is a bogey. And you play like that and you think that way, then your scores will drop, right? And then you just work on what you need to work on. So if your approach shot is a little bit left, a little bit right, you're not really hitting the greens, then after that, work on your chipping, work on your short game, work on 100 yards and in. With us, amateur golfers, our problem really lies in 100 yards and in. Most of us can't even hit the green from 100 yards. Some of us can't even move the ball, 200 yards. So why do you want to try to do something that you can't do at that moment, right? You can do it if you practice, but if you're not getting that practice in, or if you just need lessons, obviously go see a teaching professional. I have a video with Jim Gronovec, and he is a teaching professional, and he's giving you the fundamentals of golf, right? You work on your fundamentals at the range, right? You work on those things at the range. When you go out to the golf course, you're implementing what you worked on without thinking about it, right? It's becoming second nature. So again, guys, before I get out of here, again, strategy. Have a strategy when you're playing golf. Don't just go out there and just hope to shoot a good number. Make it on purpose that you shoot a good number. Know what you're doing. And every time you have a good result, you implement that result and you keep doing that same thing. So now, instead of shooting in 90 or 92, you're shooting in 89, in 88, in 85. And then eventually, when you work on your short game, 100 yards and in, now you're going to be shooting 83, 82, 81, 79, right? So guys, thanks again for watching Black Rhino Golf Talk. I'm Black Rhino. Have a great day.